So, for those that are new here, there's quite a lot of you. At the end of every year, I do I do a wrap-up, I do a year wrap-up video, a year review, and I cross-upload it between my two channels. It's, part of it's talking about the year that's gone by and assessing it, specifically in regards to my YouTube stuff, and part of it's also, like, stuff I'm planning to do in the new year, if I was at all competent, which I am at all competent, but, like, I'm not the most competent. I'd have actually looked at last year's video and made a list of the things I said I was going to do and evaluated how many of those points I checked off, but I don't have time for that. There's a bit over an hour till the new year where I live, and I want to get this out before 2023 is formally over. So, yeah, the music that's in the background is Auld Lang Syne. It's a piece of New Year's music from here in Scotland, and it's a very sentimental thing for me, so I'm playing it in the background here to pass on the sentimentality. Yeah, so that's the thing. I also meant to upload this video at 12 p.m. on +0 hours time, aka UK time, basically so that it's at the most neutral time period, it's the most neutral points in time in terms of global things. It'll be New Year's Eve, it'll be the day of New Year's Eve in the far west, and it'll just barely be New Year's in the far east. That's the most neutral way I could have done that, but I am a mess. So, I'm making it, well, just barely an hour before it's New Year where I live, and, with that said, let's get on with the show! So, at the start of the year, well, not at the start of the year, but about midway through January, I made an informal bet with myself that I was planning to double the amount of videos I made this year compared to my entire career so far, which was a year and a half at the time, and, at the time I had a bit over, like, 50 or 60-ish videos on Lucky Other World Building, and then I had one or two videos on here, and, on here alone I now have well over 100, as well as I also have a couple more uploaded onto Lucky Other Real World Building, so I'd say I cleared that. Then, depending on how depressed I end up being this year, I'm setting a bet for myself that I'm gonna 1.5 times the amount of videos I made this year in next year. I'm for the stretch goal of straight up doubling it again. Then from there, I'm not doubling it unless I get tons of money and tons of resources to industrialize this process, because that's how one gets to burnout, you know? So, yeah, also, I'm getting constant desktop notifications on my laptop with no apparent source. If you can hear them, apologies. Anyway, can I turn on Do Not Disturb? Fuck, it won't let me do it with recording audio. Oh, yes it will. Until tomorrow morning. But goodbye notifications. Anyway. I also, at one point in April, I was getting a ton of subs from basically the cynical-ass YouTube shorts I was making and still sometimes make with Mario Kart gameplay, and at the time I was hoping that I'd get to over 100 subs by the end of the year, which, unless between the time I upload this and then somebody gets together a fuck ton of friends and gets them all to subscribe, that isn't happening. Just because once this moment July hit, I think YouTube updated something with shorts. The rate of people subscribing stalled out. I might have less than 10 more subscribers than I did then, albeit over the last month the rate has been picking up a fair bit, so that's at least good news. I hope to have crossed well over 100 by the end of next year, though, so that's a thing. This year's also the year that I finally made a real break into the scene. At the end of last year I had, 13 subscribers on a channel that YouTube had pinned as dying, and now I have a channel that's actively growing with content that's actually made of quality because I've had time to grow skill, and particularly this year, late in this year, I think some of the videos I've edited, I've actually gotten really good at it now, as opposed to prior to that when I was, the further back I go, well, the more shit I was at editing it and making it and all. So that's a good improvement. I'll also note that the Lefty/Philosophy playlist is dormant. I don't know when the last time I made something in it is. It's like, it could be as late as fucking May. I'm gonna check that. Will it stop the audio recording if I go into Safari to check that? Please don't, please don't, please don't. Yeah, the last time I made a video in that playlist was over 3 months ago in September. So, yeah, that's a thing. Hopefully this doesn't make the next one I do fail epically because there's no audience for it around anymore, because that's the next video I'm making. Spoiler alert, I'm going to make a video on AI art. Also, another thing I want to say is, Planet Emigan Natural History is Okay, so I don't like starting things, like publicly starting things only to leave them unfinished, because that feels weird and unsatisfactory, but the thing is, no one's watching it, and making it takes a ton of effort, and it's getting literally no response, and so I'm kind of burned out on pen, so until further notice, that is put on hold. I'm not going to be producing new videos in that. Although that being said, Lucky Otter World Building is not a dead channel. I have a fair amount I'm planning to do on it eventually, as basically Lucky Otter's Soapbox is the one where I basically do various talking about things I didn't make, or if it's talking about other media or talking about the real world, whereas world building is for my own original creations. And I've had a lot of original work I'm working on. I'm currently writing a sci-fi novel about a pundit in the 2500s called Office Life Tomorrow. I might well drop some lore about that alongside our work. I should do that just to make use of it, also to maintain my own interest in it. And on top of that, Caveman Land. I'll admit I'm starting to burn out on the whole thing with that, just creatively. I mean, I've built a lot of stuff with it. I've had a lot of ideas. It's just I'm struggling to think of episode ideas. It'll be a long time till I have the means to actually make it a thing. As well as I've also recently realized, by recently I mean 2 months ago, that I need to upend the characters because my main characters are just not interesting to look at. So I need to make them more interesting, give them more dynamics, make them really 3D. And I don't have many ideas for that, so it might well happen eventually, but don't expect it anytime soon. And also, I'm working on a Deltarune AU. I'm trying to get away from a lot of the very stale, almost procedural nature with which Deltarune AUs are made, and try to make something more interesting and original, while still largely riffing off of Deltarune's plot itself and using its characters and basically making an alternate universe of it. That's what an AU is. And I'm gonna upload art and shit of it and tell you all the stories. Oh, y'all can see that on there. That'll happen. As for Lucky Otter's Soapbox, the plan for next year is basically to continue growing and expanding. I could probably afford to make some more creative shorts again. I only have one wave of exams during the year of 2024, those being the big bad S4, not S4, S5, big bad end of S5 exams, where they're actually like the proper exams, like you fail this, you fail a whole class type exams. I've got those coming up in around late April through most of May, so... And also, most of April is spent by S5s, aka 16-year-olds, basically studying and preparing for that exam, so expect me to take a huge hiatus starting from April and going till June, but other than that, hiatus should be minimal, especially since a lot of the depressions that have driven my hiatuses have been driven by me being depressed, which has gotten less and less, probably in part because I'm now on E, as I used to get really bad seasonal depression, and it started when I hit puberty, and it's not happened this year, the first year I've been on E. I don't know why I'm holding this like you can see it, but you can't. But also, just because I have more hope in my life, I feel more capable of passing my classes, which... Look, I want to do YouTube because I can't manage a schedule, and here a schedule isn't strictly necessary to not be fired. I mean, I can manage a rough schedule, just not an exact one. But... So I'm kind of desperate to make something like this work, because I'm kind of fucked otherwise, but YouTube's really not a basket I want to place all my eggs in. Plus, can I get it that big in the next year and a half before I'm an adult? Like, I'd rather not have to work minimum wage in my life, because it's hell on earth. I know this might come off as kind of contemptuous, but I don't want to be subjected to that torture. I don't want anyone to be. But I'm not God of the law, so currently all I can do is just avoid it for myself. So, yeah. But my plans for Lucky Otter's Soapbox this year are just to grow and expand. I have plenty of video ideas I'm planning to make into videos. I probably ought to note down a few more of them before I forget them, because I currently have a lot of ones that I don't have noted down. Hopefully more consistent uploads than last year, and yeah. Oh, and subscriber growth. Okay, this is the kind of video where there's gonna be hardly anyone who doesn't already watch me watching this, but still, yeah. If you're new, please do subscribe to see more, and like, because that pushes my channel in the algorithm, which is good. I want that. I want to be a big shot, you know. But anyway, also a more temporal side note is my video I uploaded last night is absolutely popping off. It's like it's at 166 views right now, or no, that's when I last loaded it up. So if I reload the page here, tap, wait, I bet iMovie's slowing it down. It's probably gonna be at like 71 or something. Yeah, just 167. Its pace is definitely stalling out, but it's absolutely popped off, which that's poggers. I'm honestly considering like delaying the upload of this on Lucky Otter's Soapbox so that there will be a day in which that was the newest upload that wasn't today, so that I can see how well it did and have YouTube congratulate me a little, because I like that little thing. But I could also just do that by unuploading this for a while so I can look at that and enjoy that. Bummer timing for that, but it happens. So, yeah. What else is there to talk about? I should have taken notes. Fuck. Oh, yeah. So that's been my channel this year, and that's my plans for next year. At least all the plans that I'm planning to show off. Yeah. I might have started uploading on Lucky Otter World Building again. I promise it's not a dead channel, albeit YouTube's algorithm that seems to have it pinned as a dead channel. So, I'm gonna... Yeah, if you're on Lucky Otter World Building and what I've said, if you're watching this on Lucky Otter World Building and YouTube's actually shown you that in spite of the fact that I haven't uploaded to that in, like, over 200 days, then, and what I have on Lucky Otter's Soapbox sounds interesting, please go look at that. If you're on Lucky Otter Soapbox and what I have on Lucky Otter World Building sounds interesting, please go look at that. So, yeah, I don't think I have much else to say, so I'm gonna do like last year and let the music play to the end. But, other than that, adios, motherfuckers. Also, a secret final note, iMovie was a complete pain in the ass of the music. I had to chop off the end and then re-extend them out and then place them in line of each other so they'd lean into the other, unlike last time where I could just stretch it out for the whole video. So it was annoying as hell. On top of that, I was uncooperative with this bit of black footage I put in the background for after that, so I'm just going to vent that. But also, I've got to hurry, because I've got less than half an hour to get this uploaded, so bye, y'all.